Can hear you. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, yeah, really appreciate you taking the time to jump on here, give us the tour, and just talk through all the different things that you guys are doing. I'm excited to see some more of your tiny homes. You guys always do an amazing job with it.
Great, Zach. I appreciate the intro. Yes, so right now, so first thing is I'm Jen with TruForm. We're one of the premier builders here in Eugene, Oregon, is where we're based. And I just wanted to kind of do something a little different. We're wanting to show off our facility a little bit more as we also kind of step through some common questions or some discussion topics. So right now we are in our office. This is where we enter into our space. So our
Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. All right, real quick. Oh, for some reason your audio stopped, but it's back now as soon as I unmuted. So I don't.
Oh no. Okay.
Sometimes Zoom does that, but I'll let you go for it again.
Okay, great. So for some reason I'm stepping a little closer, thinking that will work better. So let's try that. So again, I'm Jen with TruForm. So just want to introduce myself a little bit. My building background is definitely a green building, which kind of talks a little bit about different green building certifications like Passive House certification or LEED for Home certification. So that's my building background. I'm the production side of our team. Malia, who's not here, is the brains behind the architecture and the design and the style and the presentation, all client-facing stuff. So she has really brought together that skill level and that expertise and created a wonderful product. So I build it, she makes it. It's a good combination, and then we brought in some key players into our core team, and I'll introduce you to one of them here in a second. And so that's kind of where we started. We're about 10 years, into this process. We've been scaling very bootstrap style, scaling from the very beginning. At this moment, we can put out about 4 large units a month. So we've got a pretty nice style. A lot of our energy and our skill has been put into the team to train a good core quality craftsman team. So we can have this scale and still have the quality behind it. So that's really important to us. So yeah, it's a balance of wonderful design, wonderful architecture, really quality folks building our stuff, and this kind of oversight and quality control level that we also impose on everything. So yeah, so we also have a little bit more about what we build. We have a couple different options. We have a lot of pre-made builds that we've done in the past. We've built over 300 units, and a lot of clients go, hey, I really like this build. Can we just do that again? And that's an easy one. Of course we can. And then there's also like, hey, maybe I want to change a couple things. Maybe can I change the fixtures or the colors? Of course we can do that. So that's one route that is really easy. Another route is to go through our website, and then we have a pre-designed option. So some people, which is kind of me sometimes in this category, is like, there are so many options out there. How can I kind of focus my energy and rely on the professionals to know how to kind of present and kind of combine all the options to make a really good product? So Malia has developed this online designer we put on our website, and it has all these pre-made options through it. So it has, fixtures and finishes and flooring types and sizes of bathrooms, all that stuff. So there's different pathways to go. You can go with the smaller travel trailer style units, or you can go with more the park model size, kind of the larger units. And they're all, the designs work together. So if you want a different type of wood that is above our standard, let's say you want an engineered acacia wood, and then you want a different type of faucet, we know those two will combine to make a great product. So that is a really awesome way to kind of a key way to design our products, that you can see what you get a price really quickly through the website. You also get kind of a description of your whole build. And then our third pathway is the full-on custom pathway. So that is using Malia's specifically and my kind of expertise in the beginning and our whole team's expertise to create a fully customized product. And I want to show you some photos. I could sit down and show you photos for weeks, you know, because we've done so many different creative projects, but maybe weeks is an exaggeration, but a lot of photos, right? So we've done spiral staircases, rooftop decks. We've done really long tiny houses. We put 2 bedrooms on the downstairs. So there's so many different options and creativity that we can impose on these projects that just that wealth of information. I think our customers just rely on, hey, can you guide me through this process? And you know, that's definitely what is one of our expertise. So that's kind of what we do in a little nutshell. I'm gonna come in over and introduce you to Micah, and Micah is our sales manager here on the floor. Also has a wealth of information. If you call us right now, he's the one that's going to pick up the phone. So that's another key thing. Call us and we'll call you back within 24 hours. That's a huge part of our business. We always want to respond. Emails work fine too. So Micah, hey everybody. So Micah, tell us a little bit about that sales process. I mean, what does it feel like that a customer calls you, and you know, what are the questions that they're asking? What's a common one that they maybe want to bring up?
Yeah, that's a great topic to bring up, Jen. So, you know, one of the most commonly asked questions that we do get here at TruForm is, you know, where can I put my tiny home? And, you know, the answer to that isn't as straightforward as I would like it to be, but because we are an RVI certified builder, our tiny homes can go any place that you can place an RV. That it'll be, you know, including like RV parks in most situations, trailer parks in some situations, depending on the state, sometimes even, you know, manufactured home parks, private property, tiny home communities, you know, all of those things can be an option. And, you know, the other big question that we're asked very commonly is how do I finance my tiny home? How do I pay for this? And, you know, about 50% of our clients do need financing or choose financing. The other 50% are either bringing their own financing to the table or paying cash. And, you know, we do offer cash discounts to people who are fortunate enough to be able to pay cash. And then from there, our primary lender, we're fortunate enough to be able to work with, does a 25-year term mortgage structured loan. So if you have a 650 credit score or above, and your debt to income isn't too overburdened, most of our clients are going to get approved for a 10% down payment, which is fairly reasonable. And then from there, you know, right now rates aren't what I would love them to be, but we're seeing low to mid 8% range for financing on that longer 25-year term. We also have some clients who come in and they have larger down payments and they don't want to do a mortgage structured financing option. And so we do offer RV type lending up to $100,000. And that can be good for 2 options. We're going to look at that kind of an option as a cash option for us, because typically the client is going to receive those funds and then pay us cash directly. You can do up to a 12-year term with that $100,000 RV structured loan. And we have some clients who use that actually as a down payment option. They either have money for a down payment, but they'd rather not give up all their cash to come up with a 10% down, or maybe they do have 10% down, but the bank comes back and says, actually, we're going to need 20% down because your debt to income is just a little too out of whack. So then they could borrow that other chunk of money from that other RV structured loan entity and still get the 25-year term.
So just let me jump in here real quick. So obviously this is a lot of information. It's a lot of obstacles to jump through. It used to be, hey, potential, you know, tiny house client, why don't you go to your credit union and find a loan and then come back to us? And that's really difficult because credit unions don't have that box that you can just check that says, you know, tiny house, or you have to say specific things. So luckily we have a wonderful finance manager that's off site. And I assume she's the one that you're talking to every day about
Yeah, correct. So Samantha is a wonderful resource. She's been with us here at TruForm for 5 years as an employee, but she's been working to help people finance tiny homes and working with our primary lender for 8 years. So she's a great resource. And usually what happens is the client's going to reach out to us. Maybe they submit a design, maybe they send an inquiry over, and then from there, we start communicating, we potentially come up with a quote, or maybe they have questions and they're not ready to get a quote. From there, I'm going to answer all of the questions that I can based on the knowledge that I do have. And once it's time to either start applying for financing or taking a closer look, I'm going to get them connected with Samantha, who is our finance manager, and she's going to be able to answer some more complicated questions. We do often get asked, can I buy land with this tiny home purchase? Can I make land improvements with this loan? And the answer is yes, that those are options. And we'll be able to kind of help you step through those questions as you reach out to us and are getting closer to moving forward. Ultimately,
I was going to just jump in. A key step to that would be to go onto our website under our finance section and get a pre-qualified. You can pre-qualify. So that is a zero. Yeah, it doesn't hurt your credit. You jump on there. You have to provide your information, and then again, within a short period of time, we can come back to you and say, here's what your options are.
Yeah, and that is a great point. So, if you don't track your credit, that's not a problem. A lot of people do, use apps like Credit Karma or, have a CreditWise app and they're looking at their credit score. But if you don't know, it's something that we can easily check for you. And usually what we can do is assess from some general information, will you be qualified to work with our lender? What's the potential down payment amount that you might qualify for? And so that's a great way to just like step into the world and see if you can qualify. And from there, usually what we do is we'll send you an email, say, hey, good news, here's what you qualify for, or hey, it looks like you need to establish your credit history. The lender that we work with is going to typically want to see a 5-year credit history established with credit card, maybe some student loan. If you only have like student loan credit established, they're going to usually like to maybe have a co-signer. They want to see a little credit diversity on that profile. But really for us, the big thing is that Jen, everybody here has the goal of like, we want to help people. And the philosophy behind that is that if we help each other, we all get what we need. I've been working with Jen for 12 years. And one of the things that I love about Jen and why I came to TruForm is that when we would come up against problems, when we used to work together doing normal stick-built construction, it was never about blame and fault. It was always about how do we solve the problem? And so, here there's a great team mindset of like, we have problems that we have to solve every day. And, for me, my biggest, goal is to work with these individuals who are helping me take care of my family and my team in order to help them take care of their needs. And that in this instance is, getting into a tiny home.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions, reach out. Again, my name is Micah. We have another gentleman here, Abraham. If you reach out, we're going to do what we can to help you get the information you need, connect you with the right people. And if we don't have the information that you need, we're going to do a little digging and some research. And there are days where people ask me questions that I don't have the answer for. But for the most part, we have the skill sets in-house. We're close to 60 people right now here. So there's almost always somebody who knows what the solution is. It's just a question of, how do we get that information and provided? So
one of the things that a customer or a potential client wants to do is kind of see what we produce. So can people people could just stop in, and sometimes that hits, but it's really nice to call ahead or email and say, hey, is there a time that we can meet? We can make sure that our schedule is clear and you kind of have some good attention that we can walk around. So we have about 10 to 12 units on the floor at a time at different phases of construction. And it's a really good opportunity to kind of feel what a tiny house feels like what it feels like to get inside one. The first time I was in one, I was like, it's a different feeling. It could be really bigger than you think, or it could be smaller, all that. So it kind of directs your attention on how you want to kind of proceed in the tiny house world. So nice thing is, give us a call and we'll definitely give you a tour if you're in the area. If you're not in the area, that's fine. We can either do the FaceTime or the Zoom walkthrough, or there's plenty of videos and resources and pictures and photos that we can provide.
Yeah, and looking at things, honestly, only about 30% of our clients can actually physically make it here. I was just looking at, the clients in the last couple of years I've interacted with, and for the most part, people are trusting what we do based on our beautiful Instagram, our YouTube. We've been established for a while, and so there is a level of trust that we've earned by being in the industry for some time. But my big thing is, if you can come, I do want to make sure that I have time for you, or that Abraham will have time for you. So every now and then stopping by can work out, but if we have multiple people scheduled that day, it can be a little tricky. And some days are quiet, and some days are good. So if you have a heads up, we're going to make sure to book plenty of time so that you can come and tour the facility. We don't have a showroom per se, but we do, tour everybody through our facility. And show you what we do so that you can feel confident about your tiny home.
So the thing that we want to do right now is actually go on the production floor, kind of do a mini tour. We're not going to go in any of the tiny houses, but let's go take a look. See what's out there. So follows us through the door here. And it is an active work site right now. So I asked people to kind of not use the big saws. So you'll see a couple kind of people just behind. It's also Friday, so Fridays are a slow day. If you actually wanted to do a tour, Fridays are a great day to do it, or lunchtime. But as you can see behind me, there's a nice big, this is a park model that's behind me. You can also see a couple other park models. They're actually all park models on the floor on this side right now. And this one right here is kind of a special one because it's pretty short. It's only 18 feet long and it's about 10 feet wide. So it has park model status, which means you can't drive down the road without a permit, but it does kind of fall into the RV world. And we can go into more of that. There's a whole bunch of regulations side of this that we can step through. But yeah, I just want to show off what we do a little bit. As you can see, we've really invested in our facility and our personnel and kind of create a nice, safe work site. We have lifts and we have table saws and workstations and tile. One thing I do want to mention is everything is in-house. Electrical, plumbing, roofing, all the carpentry phases, all our craftsman phases. We have a cabinetry shop that does all our custom cabinets. Nothing is big box store. You always have to make something that's within the 1/4 inch or 1/8 or 16th. So that's really important to us. It also allows us to keep that quality control. So if we do want to change something, it's really easy to do it. It's all under the same roof. So this scale, this level that we're at allows us to do that. Plumbing techs, we have a good utility team and a good quality control team. So let's just walk around just slightly here. I know we're down to about 10 minutes or so left, so I have a little time to show some photos, but something behind me here, there's paint. One is under, the final coat of paint's gonna happen on this one. The one over here, we can just kind of peek in as well. This one just came over. So we have 2 buildings. One is the rough stage framing. Something that I'm really, I kind of dive into the details. This is something that I'd really like to show off. We've always flashed things properly, lapped things properly. We put a lot of energy into our window surround penetration, making sure things very small kind of heat. Of course, that's a tiny house problem. So a lot of water will come down, and we want to things to water. Right? So that's really important to us. As we peek in there, we also have spray foam that we put in the ceilings. That we do that in house as well. but this one is a good example before the wall boards go up. You know, it kind of feels a little bit like standard construction, and it also has the tiny house overlay, right? So all this knowledge and experience that we kind of allow us to solve all the problems. Hit the ground running on each one of these projects. We're going to go back into the office and a little slideshow. So as I'm walking, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. As I'm walking back, I mean, I know this is kind of a unique experience. Usually sit down in front of a computer and do more of like a Canva or PowerPoint presentation, but I wanted to try something. As Al here is going to pull up the Canva, just give me a thumbs up if that's going yet.
Okay, just 3 seconds.
Is that good?
I believe so. Let me just double check.
All right. Flip me around. I can go to the other side. Too.
Maybe go on the other side if possible.
Yep. Okay.
I believe.
So just checking real quick. Does everyone see that? Zach, are you still there?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the, great. So there's our, so we're just going to go through for about another 8 minutes, just some photos of projects that we've done before. And is the video off? Is that right?
I believe it's just the screen.
Okay, it's just a string. So there's a little shot, and we can also share this with everybody later, so you can look through this at a little slower pace if you would like. Here's who we are, a little kind of description, lots of tiny houses, lots of moving into a larger facility has definitely allowed us to provide our clients a certain product that hits a timeline, hits a price, and also a huge component is that accessible luxury space where we really want to show off a beautiful product and our craftsmanship, how we create that, and that's really who our clients are. They want to see, they want that tile, they want the little nicer fixtures and finishes, and that's what we try to provide. So as we go to the next one, we're just going to show off some of our more popular models. This little picture here is a tiled bathroom all the way, floor to ceiling. So it's a wet room. So that was kind of definitely a fun project. So one of our models, we actually have this one in inventory right now. This one is for sale. So we don't do too many inventory only models. Most of our stuff is pre-sold, but every now and then we'll throw a new model on the floor that doesn't have an owner. And right now this one does not have an owner. So this one is available. It's a 33-foot farmhouse kootenai. Some key features, it has that downstairs bedroom, beautiful kind of cool garage barn door you can see there, and just lots of finishes, some creative seating. If you can see that middle picture, has that cutting board or just kind of countertop that slides out and allows seating on both sides. And here's some more shots of that same unit. You can see the downstairs bedroom in the bottom right corner. And you can also see some of the finishes in the bathroom. So here's another model. We call it an urban payette. So our payettes and our kootenays are two different models that we kind of fall into. The payettes has more of a different kitchen setup. The kootenai has a larger kitchen and kind of a little different entryway. You actually enter into the kitchen area. So that's what this is about. So this is an urban 28-footer. And we might go a little faster or we're going to run out of some time. And here's some more pictures of that 28-footer. This one is what we first looked at outside there that's in construction. This is a similar model. So this one is the actual finished version of that. It's a studio, great for, it has an upstairs bedroom, but it has a nice little kitchenette. It could be awesome in a backyard. It could be an Airbnb type unit. It could be lots of possibilities. If we go down in size, so every time you go down from in size, it's a square foot price, right? So it gets cheaper, but then you also have some other, challenges. Like maybe instead of a 5-foot bathroom, you're going to go with a 3-foot bathroom, or instead of a downstairs bedroom, you're going to have the upstairs bedroom and a little bit more living space. So here's a good example of a 24-foot, and it has a country style. And this one is also the same unit. See all the accents there, all the accent wood, accent tile. I mean, I'm doing my best to convey how cool these different elements are. Malia has this wonderful design sense that she's always looking for the next thing and coming up with these just little pops of play. I mean, even like the little cabinet poles are, specifically picked out to kind of accent the kitchen in a certain way. So this is a gooseneck, really easy to travel with a gooseneck, relatively. I mean, you're pulling a 18,000-pound unit behind you, but it's still movable. And there's the inside. Here's an example of one of our larger park models. So it's 30 feet long, and it's our urban style. So it's an urban park max. So we usually fall into either the farmhouse, kind of craftsman farmhouse style, or the urban style. So this one's an urban version. Some really nice details in the bathroom. Here's another urban park max, similar roof line, just different finishes. And here's a great example of a Cascade Park Max. And the Cascade is, this one has a dark interior in the kitchen. I think a lot of people like that difference. It has a walnut hood, a little walnut accents, still has the white and dark play. So very much a farmhouse feel. But the great thing about the Cascade, I'll jump back really quick. The Cascade's all one level living. It has a downstairs bedroom. There is no upstairs, so everything's downstairs. The Villa Park Max has an upstairs loft. It has that downstairs bedroom, but then it has a secondary loft upstairs. And definitely a farmhouse feel. Some more pictures on the Villa Park Max. And then here's an example of just some custom travel trailers. So this is out of our normal Payette Kootenai kind of villa, Cascade. Those are our main models that you can find on our website. But as you can see, go ahead to the next one. There's just the creativity that we can, here's again, they'll go the other way. Oh no, I think we have a duplicate side, but that's all right. We'll jump ahead one more. And that's it. So I think we're at 10:29. This might have been like the perfect length of time. I don't know how I did that, but I really appreciate everyone. Of course, I can't stay up on all the chat while I'm doing this, but we can dive into it a little later and respond to different questions that people have. So again, thanks so much. We're here. Whoop. We might have been bumped out. There we go. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody again. I think people are out there watching me. You never know. It's always interesting to do this, but I appreciate all the energy that Zach and the team do here to just kind of provide more exposure to our tiny house world.
Absolutely. Jen, thank you so much for jumping on here and giving us the rundown, even showing us those pictures. But your guys' work is top notch, beautiful. So good work with all of that, and appreciate you sharing your wealth of information. Even the tour of your factory was really cool. It's awesome to get to see it all come to take shape and whatnot. So appreciate that, and thank you so much for taking the time to jump on.